Okay, so let's get this fucking party started, baby. All right, guys. So as you can see, welcome back to another episode of the Thunderbolt Radio. Ka-chow, ka-chow, jazz intensified. So today's gonna be pretty interesting. We're gonna have three different topics, and it's kind of cool because we have a few folks here that are, I don't want to say on either end, but more so some folks that directly affected by some of them, some not. To just give you a brief introduction to what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about Witch from Mercury, but just the bottle kits, because there's another stream from one of our other hosts who's not here with us today, but her name is Princess of Zeong. She has a Twitch. She by the time this airs, she'll have covered. We'll have discussed a few of the episodes by that point. Full spoilers, by the way, so FYI, on her Twitch. So definitely check her out. Links in the description below. Another topic we're going to talk about today is the Expo, the P-Bandai release, and the US drop of Witch from Mercury Kits that all happened within a week of each other. So, your wallets, they're probably still recovering. And the big ticket item topic is pay to learn. So we're going to go around the room, everybody's going to introduce themselves. Who's on here today? Start, whoever wants to start.
Hey everybody, it's Never Waffle, Chris. Go check me out on Instagram if you want.
Cody, Blue Lantern, your age sympathizer. That's a hill I'll be willing to die on.
Hey everybody, I'm Seth. Check me out at Ready Builder 2 on Instagram. Your resident Seed fanboy.
Hey everyone, Gumpo Luke here. Good to see you again.
Hey, friend.
Yo, Justin here, Magnus Builds on the socials.
Yeah, boy.
Call me Lotus, call me Naira. I'm at Lotus Me Senpai on Twitter. I do art and like purple.
I'm Jishin, RCP Gunpla on Instagram, and John Bandai in these parts.
AKA the damn devil.
Yup.
just to give y'all some context to the audience. Obviously, you guys don't know this, but our friend here, Jishin, he it's one of those things where, like, have you ever just sat there and you're like, man, I'm really looking for this kit, because you get just kind of like an itch. You're like, you know what, I really need, like, I don't know, a Jagan, a master grade Jagan, just for the hell of it, because I want to do some customizing. And like some form of like black magic, ka-chow, freaking Shazam bolt, like boom, pops up in front of you. Whatever shall you desire? And he knows exactly who's selling one. He knows how much it is, what shipping is, or he'll send you a link for a store with sometimes with a coupon code too. Ridiculous, highly effective.
Mm-hmm.
Or in your case, but that goof is that Gelgoog is high mobility.
Man, that's ridiculous. We'll talk about that on the
Mechanics bile.
We'll talk about that on P-Bandai later. That is a Jishin's greatest hits right there. So, all right. So, topic number one. Well, and like I said, you guys feel free to, whoever wants to go first. But topic number one is Witch from Mercury Kits. Which ones have you built? How many have you? How have you liked them so far? And are there any of them that you're waiting for, excited for to come?
Hey,
All right.
I mean, first off, the Garibaldi, that's like peak. I'm just waiting for that to come, and that's like one of the only high grade ones I'll buy. It's beautiful. That's all I gotta say.
So far, I've only built the aerial. I'm waiting on a couple to come in shipping. It's a very different build type to what I'm used to. Yeah, that's the one. It's a very different build type to what I'm used to. The lack of polycaps is interesting, though I think it kind of diminishes articulation a little bit. Very excited for the Garibaldi and the Michaelis for sure.
All right.
Unfortunately, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I've got the aerial in my backlog. I haven't built it yet. I'm currently still stuck on the Kasai. I'm a slow builder, but I'm looking forward to building that. But the other one I'm really looking forward to is the full mechanics aerial.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah, John Bandai's got my number on that one.
I think John
Yeah.
Bandai's got a lot of our numbers on that one.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat.
100%.
I haven't actually built any of the kits yet. I've got 2 in the backlog and may or may not have the rest on order through one store, and then I've got the full mechanics on pre-order through another store. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, especially after like full mechanics is they're pulling all the stops on those things. Wait.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't built any of them either, and I don't have any of them in my backlog. I am currently in the middle of moving my moving houses, and yeah, so I've been trying to restrain myself from buying anything. But I'm really excited about the aerial. I love the design. Definitely the full mechanics. I love most of the designs from Mercury so far. There's definitely a lot of kits on the list that I'm going to buy, especially when they come stateside. Also, the Daryl Balday. Love the Daryl Balday. The Frith when I can get my hands on it. This might be one of the first high grade lines that I actually have all the intentions in the world of buying every single one of them. Well, like no stops, like all of them. I like all of them. Choo Choo Demi Trainer, gotta get it.
They're very solid. Like at least with the aerial, you know, I can pose it on 1 foot with 0 balance problems. The joints are stiff. It's good. It's very nice.
That's a beautiful thing.
I'll definitely say that. So having built the Lafrith, aerial, and just recently today, our Queen Suleta right here. The line is this, and I'm gonna have to agree with Seth because like there's very few lines that I either go all in on one grade for unless it's a specific suit, like for example like the Unicorn or the Mark II or the Gramps. Those I kind of go full bore on every iteration, right? But the Richard Mercury line is just, I mean, all the kits have been great. And it's crazy because building the Lafrith, Mecha Guy Goto said this in his review, but the Lafrith is like at one level, and then you build the aerial, and it's like the Lafrith like plus. Because there's concepts that were introduced to the Lafrith that are like perfected in the aerial high grade. Like for example, the head of the aerial is almost a few more parts than the Lafrith than the head on the Lafrith. The shield on the aerial is a bit more complex. That it actually needs like a subframe underneath it to hold it all together, unlike on the Lafrith where it's all together by itself. But one thing, and anybody that knows that like this is like a big thing for me, it holds all of its stuff. I love that. I love it. Like if a kit can hold everything, oh my god, dude! You're insta buy, insta checkout, add to cart, done. But like definitely like on the same boat as a few of us. The full mechanics has my number. I'm gonna buy 2 of them because I want to build one and I want to customize another one. And the way that I'm going to customize that one, I really want to I want to level up and do LEDs. The scenes with the suit in the series, how things light up, and how it just like there's a simple scene, and this is the only thing I'm going to talk about the anime today. There's a simple scene in the first episode where Ariel is just standing there after the bits dock back on when Guel's suit just falling apart, where like everything is on still, and she's just standing there. I'm like, that lit up with some minor paint jobs and a little bit of diorama work, that would just be done.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't even think that will be that difficult of a customization too, because like even with the high grade, the color separation is fantastic.
oh yeah.
The
I want to. Yeah.
eyes, everything. It's all just like show accurate. It's so nice.
Like I want
I
to
would say-
paint, yeah, I want to paint a high grade just for the hell of it. But I mean,
Mhm.
the full mechanics has like I'm gonna throw all my might into it, just like I've done with the unicorn and a few others.
Yeah, I would say Bandai's really stepped up their game with color separation, especially with the Witch from Mercury kits.
Yeah, compared to the
yeah.
SD, the high grade is just at a whole nother level with the
Yeah.
Ariel.
So, can I just let me hop in for a second? Jan, I know you built both the Lafrith and the Ariel. I saw somewhere that they have different hip assemblies. Is that hurting the kit at all? Does that hinder any poses?
I personally don't think it did that it did at all. Like so, okay. And right now I'm actually literally staring at both. Because they're right here on my desk. And like the it's interesting because the hip joint for the Lafrith, it's a large white ball assembly where there's a bit that connects on the outside and kind of and then it connects to the leg, right?
Yeah.
On the aerial, it's a little more traditional that what you would see of any mainline suit, right? It has like the calf, the leg, all that crap, and then it has the two piece that one joint goes in and one joint goes down, right? And so it's very, very traditional. The aerial, that's kind of what impressed me about the aerial. There's these bits of tech that are done to it that are like that it's like it's simple when it needs to be, but complex when it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for any customizer, like for example, like Luke or like Justin, where they really like go into these details, using the base kit as like this like canvas, right? Like just not even with. I mean, I don't even think that Luke may feel some kind of way about this, but I don't even think you need to describe it. I honestly don't think you need to maybe pull out some of the lines a little bit here and there, but I mean, the kit has so many indentations and so many grooves that, like someone like Seth, like you, honestly, that you, like you can mask and mask and mask away. That is what what you can do with this.
Are you talking about the Ariel or with Lafrith?
With either, honestly, because they share a lot of similarities with the surface design, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just a huge testament though to like how far Bandai has gone now into like HGs, like actually making them kind of worth a damn on surface detail. Because I mean, some of them are super bare, but now like some of those little things like making them to where they don't exactly need scribe lines, but if you want to scribe it and figure out how to, make it look even crazier, you can. But yeah, I've seen some pretty cool, just like out of the box, like Lafrith with just like a basic paint job on it, good panel lining and decals, and it's pretty hot.
I mean, like a great example is just like if you look at the just one build. I've seen a few that actually wait, my bad. This is where I was going with it. The Gundam Origin line. All those kits have this additional panel lining and additional grooves, and it really like leveled up all those Universal Century designs, right? And it's not even an argued thing that the Origin RX-78 is the best is if not the best, probably the second best version of the Gramps in high grade. The only thing that beats it is the Beyond Global.
I was about to say, Mecha Guy Kosu even said that those two were neck and neck because, Global, you can get more of those humanoid poses, whereas Origin just is a tank and can do all sorts of good, cool stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Jishin, did we ever get your opinion? My bad. I don't know if I just like took it and ran with it.
It's no problem. I've only built the Lafrith. I've got, the Ariel and the Delanza on hand to build. I'm actually looking forward to either the standard Demi Trainer or Choo Choo's Demi Trainer, just because they are more typical grunt suits at the very least, and it will be interesting to see what modifications you can make to them and just to see what other people do with them. I mean, we've got all the other mobile suits from the different companies that are also mass production suits, so they're all kind of fit that vein of being a grunt suit. But I think the Demi Trainer is probably what I'm looking forward to the most.
I'll go back and say the Zowart probably is another one that I'm kind of looking forward to because after after the last episode, you see like 4 different variants of the Zowart. You're like, oh, those are different loadouts. And
Yeah.
after having built the EZSR in 3 different versions, I'm like, well, that's pretty sweet that there's like literally you have one suit with all these loadout variations that you can do. And I was never in the mindset of army building high grades until I built the Leo, and then I got the Leo weapon set, and I was like, oh yeah, let's go. So I have 5 Leos just chilling with different loadouts, and part of the Leo build that will happen sometime in the future. I have that in my mind, like, oh yeah, use what you've learned on the loadouts to do something better. So yeah, like the Zowart, the Demi Trainer. Tuchu's Demi Trainer to be specific, our queen.
Queen Pom Pom.
Yeah, Queen Pom Poms herself.
Queen Pain Train.
Yeah, the Choo Choo Pain Train, baby. But yeah, no, I honestly think that this whole I think this is the first line that I honestly have no qualms about. Like okay, dude, today I bought the freaking Suletta, and then I'm like, you know what? I will pick up the big ear bow because why not?
Not cat.
One of us. One of us.
And I was thinking about you actually because I was like, oh man, she bought the Burger Boy, and why not? Let's because it'd be kind of cool to put it right next to with the Lafrith, and
Yeah.
and then whenever I get, all 3 of the suits got owned by Ariel. So, here we are.
Since we were also talking about how far Bandai's come with their high grades, just the technology they use and how similar kits are nowadays, that the compatibility between it and the literal Lego of the mecha model world right now, 30-minute missions, the compatibility is across the board. So not only do you have these really cool grunt suits out, but you also have just this arsenal that you can pull from of extra backpacks, weaponries, thrusters, boosters, whatever you could think of. Like literally, it's already made. So for people just getting into the hobby that aren't comfortable trying to get claw plate and scratch build, they have options to still create their own custom mobile suits, like out of the box. And you take a look back to when I got back into the hobby back in 2015, that wasn't, you couldn't do that like at all. That wasn't there.
Yeah. Like, again, oh boy, Mecha Guy Go To did this video on the new option 10. I think it's option 10 or option 9 booster set for 30-minute missions. And it he put it on with an aerial.
Yep.
And it's like, hey, if you don't have the whatever the new I forgot what the new booster pack is called, but hey, this could serve.
Hello booster?
No. The Elo boosters are different. That's a Gundam Wing variation P-Bandai thing. It has an M. It has an M with it. But no, yeah, like he just put it on and it bolted on just fine. So like it's that like now you have this like buffet table of options with high grade. And like that was a small plug for the next podcast. That is one of the decisions that I went. One of the factors that led me to decide, hey, get a good amount of high grades, maybe like 10, a few duplicates here and there, but it's for kit bashing only for next year because high grade is cost effective, it's cheap. You can and there's so much shit out there for you to mix with it that you really can't lose. Bless you, Signor. So like, yeah, like, I mean, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. John Bandai makes money. We go broke. We build some cool shit. Instagram is happy because they're like, oh, look at this hot stuff, or not because just some snap builder. And yeah, man, we do the thing. Any other thoughts, closing thoughts, or anything like that on this topic?
I
Hey,
think
you guys are really making me want to buy all of the high grades now, even though I'm really against buying high grades just
Dude,
because of Christmas presents.
my man,
love us.
my man, I'm gonna tell you right
All of
now.
us.
I'm gonna tell you right now, dude. My local, I don't know if they are in the same league as freaking John Bandai over here, but all it took was me build one nice high grade, and it was the Kshatriya. I built that thing, and it was all over. Because after that, I went back for the A packs, I went back for the C packs, I went back for I think and then I started going through. Then I started plowing through the Origin line. And then I was like, well, what are these revives? Went down that route. And then I found the Mark IIs. And, dude, it was, bad. Bad.
I
They're
mean,
so
might
slept
not go
on.
that
Over.
far, but the Witch from Mercury line it's
I'm telling you,
there's
dude.
so much stuff that's good
Dude,
about it.
you say that right
It's just
now.
great.
You say that right now. I'm telling you, man. The hook to it, and it's happening to Luke right now. The hook to it is he's like, man, this high grade gym ground type is really nice. I look at all the things that it brings. Look at how much I could do with it. And and you saw his work, the beautiful kit, right?
Amazing.
That was a high grade, mind you. It was a $20 kit, $25 kit, I think.
That's the best part is that like so being such a fanboy of like grunt suits and stuff like that is that like you see a lot of grunt suits in the anime and you see like a lot of variations of them that either A aren't in master grade or B just don't exist at all. And
Og.
it's wanting to create those non-existing variants that you either have it in your mind as an original concept or something you've seen on the anime. Like the most cost-effective way of doing that is definitely through a high grade. And then all the variations that they do have, just like the pool size of high grades and what mobile suits are out there just makes it so appealing. Like after I did that GM, I was like, all right, we're gonna Google search like the complete HG list of every GM out there, and we're gonna start putting them on a list of what I want to do because it was just so much fun to be able to tackle an HG GM, something super simple and blank, and it's like realistic anime accurate colors where like I stuck with the main color scheme, but I definitely think that high grades are too slept on.
They are. They are.
And like even with the silver bullet, like the silver bullet was really blank, but oh man, it's an awesome kit. It's huge. And a little bit of love can make that thing shine so much. And I think a lot of high grades is even though they're not with a ton of detail, you give them a little love, simple paint job, maybe some scribing here and there if you want, but some decals and a new paint job, yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're excellent for, people like me, our only Hygog enthusiast, that there isn't a master grade or a real grade or anything. It's just high grade. But the fact that it's there and that we have kits of things that otherwise probably wouldn't get them is definitely a testament to how high grade can work. And like I don't know if we're ever gonna get like a full mechanics burger boy. I doubt it. But we have the high grade.
That would be kind of cool.
It would be really cool.
Everything
I
is
love Burger
possible.
And
Yeah.
I feel like the way things are trending, you're gonna see more high grades primarily just because right now, in terms of the tech that we're seeing, they put a lot of investment in high grade.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
like we've already talked about, the entire 30-minute missions line is basically a way for you to build a kit in 30 minutes, but have a plethora of options to customize it the way that you want. So you can make your own custom relatively simply and easily.
Yep.
And
Well, and
from there, you kind of just jump to looking at like the Lefrith and the Ariel that have compatibility with the same exact accessories. Makes it a lot easier for somebody who is tiptoeing into Gundam to be like, I saw Witch from Mercury. I like that mobile suit. I want to customize it some. and you already have 30-minute missions, so you've already got a good repository of things to pull from and add to that kit.
Well, and also I would say with the way things are trending, I think more is going to be put into the full mechanic line too.
Oh yeah.
I hope so.
Because
I'm really hoping.
I feel like the RE line's dead. Like the Zaku was its last hurrah, and it's dead.
Like just
And now it's full. We'll see. We'll probably see the high, like Jishin was saying, full mechanic is going to get more love with the AU suits, like the alternate universe, and I think Master Grade, we're going to see some suits still get that Master Grade treatment, but not as many. I think we'll see more going towards that full mechanics because Bandai's fixed all the problems, I feel like, since the IBO full mechanics.
Yeah. I think that, like, I think they need to make a full mechanics narrative. It'd be nice to see a Master Grade, but like I feel like full mechanics, based on, I mean, what that is, would be the peak format for that if they decided to break into the UC with full mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and then we can have the narrative A packs, B packs, and C packs.
Hey, you're already making money. Look at that.
Like all the 15 squintillion Zaku's.
It's like
I think the 2.0 Zaku is kind of like it's still like really good. So I don't think it's like it's gonna get anything like a full mechanics, but you never know.
Yeah,
I think what's gonna happen with Witch for Mercury, it's gonna definitely be like IBO, ass ton of high grades. I mean, like all of them. You'll have a select few full mechanics, and I personally think you're only gonna see one master grade.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I think it'll be the aerial.
Yeah,
Probably.
I mean,
yeah.
7 years, and we finally got master grade, and it was just RB, and we're not gonna probably see any master grades of the other boys.
I think you'll see one master grade of the aerial, maybe a P-Bandai variant of the Lafrith, and that's a stretch. That's a stretch, because you would think that if the Gundam frame on the IBO suits are all pretty much the same, that you would see. Well, it's easy to make a master grade variant of the Bile or whatever for P-Bandai, but you never saw that. So until now, at least, I mean, up to now, but things can change. Who knows? But as it stands, I think that's what's probably going to happen. But let's see. And that was good. I like that. Say again.
I said, speaking of P-Bandai.
Speaking of P-Bandai, great segue. Great segue.
Little beeps Bandai.
So, and this is like Jishin's like little freaking like pet project over here.
How can I take more money from them?
Basically, it's like the honestly the meme from the Green Mile. I'm tired, boss. That's literally how to best describe how I feel about this. So, topic number 2, also another positive topic, so to speak. What was it? What's up? You were saying something? No, I thought Justin was saying something. Oh, my bad. Anyways, so topic number 2, and these happened in sequence. I'm sure to the master plan of John Bandai himself. The Expo with their release of kits, which was pretty hefty. Then the P-Bandai drop that I think hurt everybody.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And then on top of all that, a week right after Peebs, the U.S. got the first wave of not only the first 2 Witcher Mercury kits, but also they got I believe some stores got the Delanza and the Aerials. You have four kits plus Figurai Suletta. So you got 5 kits that dropped to the state side. So how are y'all doing financially? I mean, y'all good? You need help? You need try on.
I'm doing great.
Danger.
I only bought one thing, so I'm relatively safe.
Mark safe from P-Bandai.
I was marked safe pretty much for all of the Expo stuff except for that Peeps drop right afterwards. That was scary.
Yeah. The only thing I got was Clear Burger Boy.
Yeah, I'll be upfront. I was at work when the first day of the Expo dropped, which was kind of a pain in the butt, so I missed
Oh, that's not fair. I got the Argyle. I forgot about it.
the Mark II real type colors, but got a hold of that somehow. But I only got a few things. Like I got the Wish from Mercury bases and a couple of the manipulators. That's all I got. And then with the P-Bandai, I finally was able to pick up my Masquerade Stormbringer last night.
Nice.
Nice.
So, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say. So, I am normally the one to stay away from P-Bandai. I can count on one hand how many kids that I have gotten from P-Bandai. A lot of the stuff doesn't interest me, but going back to the first episode of the podcast, I asked for it. I received it. We are finally getting high-grade G Gundam kits. Rose Gundam's coming out first. I'm going to pick up 2 of them off the bat, maybe more if they do a second run. If they do the rest of the G Gundam line in P-Bandai, I will buy duplicates of every single one of them. I asked for it. I got it. I have to fulfill my side now. I love G Gundam. I'm so excited. That is my rant. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Someone feels very passionate
crazy.
about.
Meanwhile,
Put him in the loony bin.
poor Burn Lapius, the only one out of its group to not
Hey.
get a kit.
Yeah.
Hey, Burlap Sackius might come, okay?
Burlap Sackius.
That was a bit of a stretch. I'm gonna be real with you.
Oh man.
Can I
So-
just
Yeah, go
chime
ahead.
in and say, Cody, you forgot your Claire Lafrith.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Clear Lafrith. Yes,
It's
John
wild.
Bandai. I sold my soul to John Bandai, so I owe John Bandai a soul for a Clear Lafrith.
You know what's wild is the fact that he's like, no, you got this also. Like he knows.
I forgot. He's got my number in his little black book.
Man, you sold your soul. I just was gonna trade him some money. Jeez.
Well, I mean,
This dude
I
is
also
like-
sold him. I sold him my firstborn. What are we talking about here?
Kitty.
No, my cat is the second born. He's safe. Mark's safe from John Bandai.
So like that, I'm not gonna lie, that like I felt like a little bit like Justin, because like Justin, he'll go ham on prior to pre-cruise, he would go ham on some of these drops, and I was like, you know what, I gotta make my boy proud. So like this last P-Bandai hit was pretty rough. Like decisions were made. So you guys know. I love grunt suits. The Jagan's one of my favorites. I love, high mobility is like the key to my heart. And so the start Jagan, when that thing dropped, I was like, I got to do the thing. Boom. I got 2 of those. And that shit hurt. And then on top of that, P-Bandai was so sadistic that they dropped the Philip Hughes Gym Dominance. And I'm like, well, I can't bitch out now. So I have to, go ahead. So I had to pick that one up, and I had to dangle my boy, the Banshee Norn, for another week. Just pray to God that it wouldn't sell out. And like magic or divine intervention by John Bandai, it was still in stock when my payday hit. So I got that one too. And if the Star Jagan holds out till next Friday, I might pick up a third one.
There you go.
You're
Sir,
amazing.
Yeah, I'm
You
getting
are
tempted
crazy.
to get it, Jan. As much as I've held out.
If you get one, are we like, we'll just
possibly
because if you get one, then I won't need to buy that third one.
yeah, because like I want it, and I never have gotten anything off of P-Bandai except for that GM Spartan that you got me.
That thing's gonna be sick.
Yeah, that finally was like the final straw. But then like the Stark Jagan comes out, and that's like the cinder block that broke the camel's back, because like that was just I was pretty hyped for that. And I'm still like, there's like little Luke inside of me is like, pull the trigger, you bitch, and
Pull the trigger, Piglet.
I'm trying to hold out and be like, it's Christmas season.
Pull
It's
the
time to
lever,
think of
Kronk.
others. Yeah, it's time to think of others. Don't do it. But
Little kid Luke was punching your wallet, going, "Do it, fucking buy it."
God,
Yeah.
can we-
See, I think of others by adding in a kit for someone else into each order. I try. That's
just
how I
imagine.
I got what did I get? I got like literally pulling into home port, like barely had signal. I went through about half an hour of anxiety because I was like, I'm gonna lose signal. What if someone else picks this up with the Thunderbolt set that Nick let me know was available like as soon as I got signal, and Cody had shot me a message, and Jay Hound had shot me a message like, hey, it's here, get it. Because like, you know, being out to sea, it's kind of hard to partake in the expo.
I'd imagine.
Yeah, and then the next day, I placed an order where I get the Age 1 Special Forces, the Quant Full Saver RG, and then, like I said, for someone else, I got the wife, the Master Grade Quebley.
Not the darned.
Or Cubley.
The Quebley darned itself.
Nope, he got the Emblier.
Yeah, the one that's just big.
He got the pretty one.
Can we talk about the freaking shipping coupon fiasco though?
That was I'm not gonna lie. That was like
a dick move.
That was like masterful trolling on a level that I only aspire to reach. Because that was wild. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
God.
The balls on Bandai.
Moment.
Honestly,
on Bandai.
Honestly, that was peak tier level dick maneuver. Now when they tease everyone with the Neo Zeongs and everything, like
that was like
hey,
what,
look at all this
earlier in the
bullshit.
year.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And to be fair, you know, it was listed and then quickly removed because I'm pretty sure someone was like, well, we can't cram all the rest of this shit into the container if we're cramming in Neo Zeongs.
Well, I still wonder what's up. I still wonder what's up with that. Like, because my money was on that it would have been an Expo kit, but it wasn't. I can't. Yeah, it's like you're kind of waiting for that freaking piano to drop, and you're like, man, when is it gonna be? When is it gonna be?
See,
like I'm getting one for sure because Lacey loves the Neo Zeon, so like I gotta get one for that reason. But also I kind of want one, so I don't know, because I mean y'all know my affinity for absurdly large kits.
I mean that'll take the cake for sure. Because like I grab,
would not be the largest kit I have though. Thank you.
True.
Have that thing.
Because like today I was at my local for that build thing that they were doing, and I went back to like where they had all the Gunpla like 4 different times. I was tempted. I'm not an SD guy, but I was tempted to pick up the Neo Zeon because they have the Neo Zeon and SD there.
That is a cool SD.
And I've heard that before, right? So I was like, well, you know, if I'm gonna have one, I probably wouldn't be I could paint it. That'd be a good way to practice a few different skill sets, and and yeah, so like I looked at it, I grabbed it, I let it go again. They have 3 of them, so I'm like, I'm pretty sure it'll be there for a while.
Grab a second one when you grab that one. I got one for Lacey. I won't.
Okay, all right, yeah, bet. But no, yeah, that shipping coupon shit was wild because we all because we were all in a little Zoom. We usually, so to the audience out there, we're pretty freaking sadistic and masochistic. So like what we do is we all share in our pain, and whenever P-Bandai hits and the drop, we're in a Zoom or in a voice chat in Discord about 30 to 15 minutes prior to the drop all together. You know, because we like to make this game exciting. Like we're not going to just go ahead and allow our internet to be at full power. You know, we're going to nerf it a little bit to make it kind of cool. Because, you know, we know some folks are like, oh, my latency. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start a video feed because I can't make it that easy.
6G. I have the fastest phone. I'm never going to miss a drop.
Oh, no, yeah. All the GBs and the Wi-Fis.
I'm butt fuck nowhere, Kansas.
So, like, so we're out there, you know, we even counted down. Jish, and this sadistic fool right here, he counts us down. It's wild. It's like he's like the dude with the trumpet at the horse races, you know?
So I gotta make sure that y'all are ready to, you know, spend that money on some good plastic crack.
Oh yeah, yeah. Cocaine bear. Cocaine bear. But no, yeah. That was wild because it's like everybody, we all did our thing. We were all like, all right, okay, damn. And then like, what was it? The next morning, we all got the email saying, oh yeah, by the way, $10, here's a free shipping coupon. And I remember Cody, I remember Lotus, I remember I think somebody else was like, what kind of bullshit is this?
Yeah, I sat there looking at my email and I was just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Someone probably lost their job over that. They probably forgot to send it out like the day before, and so then they had to send it out the next day.
I was sitting there because I agonized for like 2 days before the clear Vargule dropped, because I didn't want anything else from that from the Expo. I just wanted that one, and $10 shipping for a $32 kit is terrible.
Yeah.
So and thanks to Jishin, I can just pay him for it and we can work that out once it ships. But I was extremely conflicted about what to do. And then they come out here with this free shipping coupon for everybody else outside of the new users, after specifically saying if you make a new account and we find out, we'll ban both of your accounts.
Yeah. It was misleading.
Yeah. And at that point, of course, most of the Expo stuff had sold out. So the only reason I picked up that clear Burger Boy / Big Iron Bow was just because I had the coupon and I was like, I may as well. But I would have preferred to use that on the Vargule and not had to, make Jishin have a harder time with his stuff.
I was already doing like proxying for other people, so it really wasn't anything.
But you get my point, though.
I mean, I do, yeah.
So I think realistically, I'm the worst one out of the group because, and my fault. I forgot to say the few things that I had picked up from P-Bandai recently. I got the RE100 Lindworm, and I got the Cubulate high grade effects parts, so I can have all the funnels coming out of my high grade Cubulate with a stand. But and again, I'm not too big into P-Bandai, but I do enjoy coming in. There's a big energy with this group when it comes to the P-Bandai drops, and it's fun to sit here and watch the chaos happen. And I kind of laugh at all of them for the amount of money that they spend. But the next morning when I got up to see that email, I busted out in one of the most maniacal laughters I have ever had in my entire life, thinking about every single person that's on this chat that just bought stuff.
Dude, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, dude. It's not okay. Like it's not like $10 would have really helped on my total, but I did feel like slighted. Like I felt a little like it was one of those few times where I channeled some Cody energy. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like
it felt like they were prioritizing new users and just giving loyal years-long users a big middle finger. And then, you've bought all this stuff. Now you get free shipping. Buy more.
Yeah, that's marketing straight up. It's easier to keep the users you have than it is, And
I think that was even something I kind of felt like with this last Expo when they did the live streaming too. I felt like the live streaming was just kind of, we're gonna purge all this shit. There's a few new things, but yeah, this is an overstock from the G bases.
Hey guys,
we're just purging.
You want to buy this Gundarium high grade? Huh?
Oh my freaking $2,500 high.
Yeah, you remember that one last year? Like, dude, we were doing the same thing. We were all. Yeah. I remember it was most of us. I hadn't met Luke yet, but yeah, it was most of us, and we were like watching the Expo live, watching the whole QVC thing as they were dropping one by one by one. And I remember when they said the Gundarium grade, and I hit refresh on the page to see because I was like waiting for the perfectibility, and that one pops up, and I see the price. It said $1,200. I'm like,
2,500.
Yeah. I was like, who the buys this shit? And then on top of that, they were dropping the like the pearlescent finish or whatever thing for like the fats.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
and
dude, that thing
Titanium.
was so expensive.
yeah, and I made a comment, and I was like, "Yo, who the hell would buy? It's 200. Who the heck's gonna buy that
and then
crap?"
fucking
Ian bought it.
Yeah.
Ian's
Well,
like,
he bought
guys,
he bought
so,
the he bought the Faz and
Yeah.
the Victory 2.
Yes.
Because that's when they dropped the Victory 2, the Faz, and the Death Scythe Hell Custom all at the
Mhm.
same time. And it's like,
Yep.
what in the fuck?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, Jan, do you remember in our military Gunpla group when I can't remember his name, the guy that was stationed over there in Japan, he bought two of the fucking Gundariums.
Who has that
Well,
kind
why?
of disposable income?
Why?
And yeah, why?
He well, I don't know. I think I hope one of them was, and I don't know if he's gonna get any more from it. Hopefully one of them was like, I don't know, maybe I can use this to try to flip it in 10 years. When Bandai finally sells out of the ones they produced and convince people to buy them. But like the other one was decidedly, he was doing really good with picking them up and selling like the Gundam based stuff. So one of them was probably just well, I've got this, might as well.
I was gonna say, did he have deployment money or something?
I mean, he's shore duty over there, but he was side 69.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
Are the Gundarium fumes going to his head?
They probably are now.
Fumes.
Yeah, one of them he got just to put through a grinder and snort.
Oh my god.
The refinement process, it's much like the refinement process to make the lithium-ion batteries for Teslas. It's not a clean process. Not quite so green. So okay, so speaking of that,
go full Setsuna and say that
he's got.
Oh my god.
Speaking of that, by the way,
microplastics. I am Gundam now.
Stares in judgment. But speaking of that, though, the some of the ones that I'm not gonna, I am only a little bit upset of one that I missed, and that was the Exia Ecopla. But the only reason I didn't buy it was because, listen, dude, the only reason you're gonna buy it is because it looks like the Type X, like the Estrella Type X. It's not the Estrella Type X. Wait for the metal build to come back, and then get that one, because that's the one you really want. And so, yeah, that was like the only one that, because like Ecopla's kind of coming around. Like a lot of the U.S. builders are beginning to kind of get on them because they're becoming more available for us. And
yeah, they're neat.
yeah, I mean, like the one that Princess of Xeon built not too long ago on stream, the Barbatos, that thing is
yeah,
beautiful.
Does the Exia? What's like the bright color with the Exia? Is it pink?
Purple.
Pink.
Purple.
Purple.
Was it purple?
Yeah.
Because at that point, just get an Exia dark matter.
What's the black and pink one? Is that the Lefrith?
Printed at any time in the last 2 years? That would be nice.
I've seen Exia dark matters on multiple websites.
You mean the high grade or the master grade?
I'm talking about the high grade.
Yeah, the high grade got reprinted, but not the master.
Yeah.
Master grade's kind of a dumpster fire, though. It falls apart.
A lot of the Exias have these issues. I know a lot of the issues were taken care of after the second run of the Master Grade Exia, because it's all the same inner frame.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people use the MG Dark Matter though for the conversion kit for the I think it's that Yu Land Exia Amazing or something.
I'm just saying, as far as like colors go,
No, yeah, like the dark matter is beautiful. Like actually the Amazing X is pretty sweet because like I got on a Build Fighters kick not too long ago because I finished the series, and I kind of really want like any kit that says Amazing in front of it because Meiji Kawaguchi's boss, man deserves all the respect. Yeah, it's freaking sweet. So like amazing dark matter Exia might be like on the radar. And no, Jishin, I'm not buying one if you know where it is. All right, no.
Oh wait, you mean the master grade Amazing Exia?
No, don't do this. Don't do it. I'm tired, boss.
I have a second one.
Don't do this to me. Don't do it.
Well, because
I can put your name on it.
Dude, because you and I were talking about the Estrella Type F earlier, but I mean a few months ago. That's still kind of like playing circles in my head, even though I already have one. But I think I might just end up selling my Avalanche kit. But irregardlessly, Any other closing or other overall feelings or anything like that for Peeves Expo and WFM
No,
kits?
so I already took some hits before the expo because I mean y'all know how I get when new stuff, like when I say new I mean NU stuff drops. So
Yeah, yeah. By the way, I got the shipping notification. It should be here mid-December, so I'll forward that to you whenever I get it.
yeah, and then sometime next year the Shokogen version is going to be delivered to me.
I'll have your Red Rider soon too.
So yeah, my shotgun spread of various P-Bandai orders with this group. Yeah, no, I got that, and there was another drop that I got. Let's see, what was it? Oh yeah, because right before that, I'd gotten the full Glanza Phantom and another the AOZ kits because
Yeah, you got the. Did you get the armor for the full glance, or did you get the full big boy?
I got the whole
Okay.
one because like I said, with whenever a certain dealer over there replies again to me finding out when the hell my orders are going to ship, I'll have all of the age kits that I like in Master Grade. Yeah, so just waiting on that because I'm getting the Sparrow through him. It's just that he, for some reason, they just don't seem to reply when you say, "Hey, I've shot you emails and Facebook messages," and I might have to drop in the comments section again on his page so that
Customer service
from that site, really?
No.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
So proud about saying just about me instead of about us, and then suffers from, oh man, it's so hard operating by myself.
So yeah, because speaking of those kits, because oh shoot, yeah, and El Diablo over here, he acquired the full glance of armor set for me because I was in an internet compromised area at the time. One of the few times where P-Bandai where I was in a mess of P-Bandai hit, and I was like, no, not this one.
Oh no, you missed. Yeah, I got and the Raijin Striker.
The Raijin Striker.
Damn, that was
the pack. Yeah,
that is a. I kind of wish I'd have hopped on that one because that was a nice pack.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna get it. How many times did we see the Maneuver Strike Pack get produced? I think we'll see the Raijin come around this next drop.
Yeah, it'll be reproduced again. It's just that little bit of FOMO.
Yeah,
especially since we're seeing a lot of seed stuff.
Hey, Bobby. Hey, Chris. Your connection. Yeah, you're a robot, buddy.
Like the full Zaku War ship.
Okay. Now he got me.
Yeah. He broke. Chris is broke. Insert technical difficulty symbol for him.
What I was gonna say was I agree with was it Jishin that said that this one felt like a lot of Gundam base overstock?
That was me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was you. Okay.
Yeah.
It did feel like a lot of Gundam base overstock. Like most of the stuff were clear kits and things like that, like alternate coatings and whatnot. There wasn't really anything super special for this drop.
That's essentially what it is.
There was one nice thing that did come out that we hadn't seen before, and that was the strike, the perfect strike with the
right.
Grand Slam.
The Grand Slam, yeah.
But what I mean is I know that's what the Expo is, but when they're concurrently doing drops and other things, you kind of hope for something a little bit more. And given the nonsense with the shipping and everything, at least to me, it kind of fell flat.
Well, you have to consider that these things have to get planned on whatever the print schedule is.
Right.
And we usually, one of the things is that prior to the pandemic, people would, go to Japan, go to Gundam base, buy stuff. So that's how some of those things were, making it back to the States. But I mean, at least the better part now is that at least this is been our third expo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a more consistent way for people to get those clear kits.
Right. That's more what I'm more saying is like given the timing of everything, I think they could have timed things better to make it feel more of like an oomphy thing than just
again,
everything.
It's also...
And I don't mean like timing with like the print schedules. I mean like comparing comparing the regular drops, comparing the coupons and all of that, and the bizarre times, like the release times. Like the Argyle was like 11 a.m. one day.
I think that was tied to Anime NYC and the events going on there. That was part of it. And that was the same thing that happened with expos in the previous, where it was tied to specific times of day to coincide with events going on at whatever convention they were happening to hit that particular weekend. But
just makes it inconvenient for the people who A, don't realize that, or B, aren't there. And I think that is something to take into account.
I mean, the other thing is that they promoted this as best they could on social media and directed you to the website, which literally listed the times and the particular things for every single drop.
That's not what I really mean, though. What I'm trying to say is, like, I just think that the reception of that's what I'm talking about, is the reception of it kind of fell flat because of all of that.
Like a good example was you and I like us in the group, right? Especially Gam. We've been talking like throughout the entire year. We're like, not even the year. Whenever the Neo Xeon got teased, right? We were like, well, that's probably for the Expo. If it does drop, right? And we went like up until I want to say 2 weeks or a week prior to the Expo before they actually said anything that the Expo was going to happen. Because up to this point, we were like, you were even making jokes. You even have that freaking stupid little meme with the dude with the freaking butterfly. I was like, is this Expo? Whenever something would drop on P-Bandai, we're like, is this it? Because like there'd be some like Ecoplaza would drop, and we're like, okay, usually the Ecoplaza was for the Expo, but it wasn't the Expo, and so we're like, when is this happening this year? And then there was a point where we're like, no, we don't think it's going to happen this year at all. And then out of nowhere, it was like, boom, Expo, Anime NYC. Here's all the kits. This is the thing. They're going to be, and it caught us by surprise. Pretty good. Like it was a pretty good shocker because we're like, oh shit, it's actually happening. Damn. And like that's I think what she's getting at is the fact that there was no it wasn't telegraphed at all.
Yeah, there wasn't any like hype build up or anything. It was just, here's the Expo, give us your money. Also, here's for shipping afterward. Have fun.
Right. And what I was going to say is
it was more of a kind of like, hey, so like this is a thing now. So y'all should have known this was going to be a thing, because I know last year's was months. It felt like of, hey, this is coming. And then this was just sort of, okay. Like, I mean, y'all know I was busy, and then it happened, and I was like, oh shoot, yeah. Like I thought I missed something because of everything else that was going on, but I didn't. It was just, it really was that short notice. But I mean, I wonder if they're working on maybe with all of the shifts they're doing in business. I know they want to have a greater presence in the States. And if they can, this is super hopeful talking right now, but if they can eventually get to production in the States, then that's when Expo, I think, would go away completely, because you wouldn't have a need to have like an official channel, even just once a year, for mass drops of getting those kits that you can only really get if you decide to go over to Japan and walk through those pretty awesome aisles of a bunch of monocolor boxes and pick out the ones that you're looking for.
Well, and what I was going to say is what was just it's kind of beating a dead horse already, but in the past couple years, the expo had been like in July, August. And I mean, they dragged out until they said, "Oh, hey, by the way, November, here's your expo." And then, like, the timing of, "Here's your coupon for your free shipping." And it's like, could have used that a while back ago.
I feel like I can't remember who said it earlier, but I feel like that really was a I forgot to hit the send button.
Lucas said that, yeah.
Yeah, it felt very like messily put together, I guess.
That makes me wonder if they were actually expecting to hold an expo, if maybe there was something going on behind the scenes where they were really kind of waffling on it, and then someone finally said, "No, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go to Anime NYC and have this thing, just like we did in previous years." But it was like really late in the year by the time they finally made that decision, and at that point, the number of conventions that were available had kind of, slimmed down, and that's why it kind of was just like Expo the week before Black Friday, and then the normal P-Bandai drop the following week, just kind of like,
Oh shoot! Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Twice.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, it was also the week before Black Friday. So like, it was this like perfect storm of you're gonna get hit with all
so
this.
Chaotic.
Yeah.
Well, and like what Jishin said, I mean, usually you would expect to see P-Bandai do the expo like maybe with San Diego Comic-Con or something big like that.
One of the big ones, yeah.
But New York anime, I never heard of it until this year.
Anime NYC is
mid-size.
Anime NYC is kind of like as the kids would say, it's mid. But like it's kind of, but it is literally in the middle. Like it's not like it's like, oh my god, but it's also not some.
Yeah, it's a mid-sized convention.
Yeah,
it's not like Gen Con, which is kind of small.
Dragon Con.
Dragon Con.
Man, dude, the North is coming out of your voice real hard, buddy.
Dragon.
Dragon Con.
Dragon.
Listen, it's not even as bad as it was when I was up in Wisconsin.
Oh God!
For there, that was full on like Fargo level.
Yeah, you didn't put anyone in a wood chipper, did you?
Oh my God,
I can't confirm nor deny that.
Jan, speaking of giving people money, is it time?
Huh? What?
I said, speaking of giving people money, is it time?
Time for what? What do you mean giving people money? Wait, what I do?
Take some money.
Huh? What I do?
Talking about our third topic, sir.
My bad. Because I was like, shit. Do I owe anybody money?
He's trying to break up the conversation. Move on to the next.
Tried to put a segue down some stairs and just broke his back.
I'm like, who do I owe? Holy shit! Oh my God!
That segue,
Dude, it was terrible. But you know what? No, because the magic of post production. But no, you know what? I'm keeping this.
All of that.
Put it at the end for like bloopers.
So but no, bloopers? The whole thing is a fucking blooper. Look at these schmucks talking about Gunpla and other stuff. But so okay, I'm gonna preface this with this subject can. In some instances, well, actually, it did raise a lot of feelings on the interwebs, and it kind of honestly shined a bit of an ugly light on some people in the community, but some obviously redeemed themselves in one way or others. I'm actually very proud to see the reaction of a few folks in the community, but this is a very interesting topic. Hi, buddy. By the way, my cat has just stepped onto the. So okay, Louis, you want to be in for this? You want to introduce it?
He's got some thoughts about this.
He's got some thoughts. He's like, this is cutting into my food. So basically, so topic number 3 of today is it's just simply titled "Pay to Learn." To give the audience, to give you guys the audience a little bit of context. One of the bigger influencers in the Gunpla community, Studio G, had introduced a segment called Masterclass, which had tiered levels of tutorials with varying content within each level. So some were just relegated to lessons via video or voice chat. Others included materials like kits and such. Obviously, the more things that are included, the higher the price. And when it was initially, I can't English today. Whenever it was initially launched, the sticker shock was one of the bigger things that you saw across the community. I think the lowest one was $99.
Mm-hmm.
The highest one was, I want to say, $399. If anybody can correct me on that.
$430.
$430.
Okay, so
Yeah, $430.
so the highest one was $430. I'm gonna present this in several different questions because it is a pretty loaded topic, and it can, like I said, some people react one way versus the other. So let's start off with this question. And by the way, these questions are provided by Princess of Xiong, since she's been doing a lot of stuff lately on social media, so she couldn't attend to this one. But she, in the spirit, has dropped these wonderful questions that I think is going to help lead the discussion. So, without further ado, question number one is: what is it that set everyone off? What were the arguments against the classes? Question mark. Whoever wants to start first.
So I mean, like straight up, I think what set everyone off was more who it was that did that than what it was that they did. Because like, y'all know how I feel about that person, and the various things and ventures that they go into. It's like immediately, I think it was just like, oh, another like, once again, I'm asking for your money sort of situation, because that's really what a lot of it is. It's like, how can I get my name out there even more? That's my take on why everyone was like the immediate like tripwire of such drastic reactions to it. And then as far as the classes and arguments against them, like I think those had very varying levels of validity, because like you had some people that were like, oh man, y'all want to learn, I'll just go ahead and teach you for free, like we'll just Zoom and learn that way, and like cool, but like that doesn't mean that you're going to be a good teacher for that either. And my biggest thing with that is like instructing people on how to do stuff, especially modeling. That's a very kinesthetic learning process. And I personally don't think that especially for him saying, I'll teach you, like if he says I'm going to teach you classes without saying it, what he's saying is, I'll teach you how to build like I built. And that's a skill set that I don't think you can learn in however many sessions you're offered and stuff like that, especially if it's just over the same medium that we're using right now of okay, you're online, like at most you get a kit and some tools that are provided and some dude saying, hey, yeah, so do it this way now. Okay, but what you aren't getting is you don't have that one-on-one in-person or even like swinging by a hobby shop where you got someone who's pretty good at a certain skill set to go, oh, hey, it looks like you did this, because everything you have is only through pictures, videos of whatever, limited by whatever quality the camera is. And it's a bad way to try to pitch that, because yes, I'm sure some people could learn the skills from it, but they would have to have that ability to learn from a distance and understand from just a guy on a screen saying, okay, do it this way, and then hold it this way. But he doesn't have the foreknowledge of, okay, well, they may have this limiting factor of some mobility issue in their hands, or where are they really starting out at? There's a lot of factors that make it rough for me as like someone who's taught a few things of a whole lot of stuff in the military, you know, from electronics all the way to self-defense and marksmanship. Like it I don't think it's a good medium personally for that price point for those classes. And I've got way more to say too, but let someone else hop in.
I was gonna.
Can I?
I got guys. I know it's a hot topic. So let's thank Justin. That was awesome.
Still.
No, you're good now. You're good, but no, Justin,
Okay,
that was great stuff. But yeah, Chris, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I'll take turns.
So just to kind of clear up a couple things, like a lot of the pushback was not only like, against him as a person and people having their own like opinions about him. They were really like, surprised by the amount that he was charging. But what a lot of people didn't understand is that the $430 is a class that he was providing to people in person. That was like very specifically an in-person thing that was for people near him. And he was offering a full 7-week class, I believe. I may be completely wrong on that since he has taken all the stuff down. We don't really have the stuff in front of us. But I believe it was a 7-week thing where he would do a one-on-one session with you, and it was, the $99 for that 7 weeks. And it was, I forget how many hours it was, but it was a pretty good amount of money for the amount of like time that he was teaching you.
Mm-hmm.
And, irregardless of how good he is at teaching like that, it was a good price point. And a lot of people that, aren't really big in the hobby, like they don't really know a lot of stuff, like he could give them a lot of good pointers. It was a pretty good price point for the amount that he was trying to provide. But it kind of got all tied up in the mess, him trying to like abuse the game, and he was planning on teaching his YouTube channel that that he's now doing like as a thing, like as opposed to how he was trying to make a little bit of money off of teaching.
Yeah, I think
So that's kind of just where I'm at.
I think a lot of people knee-jerked. They saw the
Mhm.
price. They didn't bother to read into, in person or not, online or not, one-on-one or not. And and as someone who's had both in-person and online art classes, because I was still in college when the pandemic hit, there comes a point when like Magnus said, that a lot of this is kinesthetic learning. You have to be in person with it in your hand, watching and mimicking in order to accomplish your goal. But not everyone learns like that.
Mm-hmm.
And for some people, a one-on-one digital like Zoom call or Discord call would be perfect. But it varies so much, and I don't think enough people sat down, went past that knee jerk, and went into the, okay, what is this? Why is this so expensive? Am I compensating him for his time and expertise? And that's a fundamental problem with any art, regardless of if it's a hobby, drawing, painting, whatever. People don't value it as much as they would, like, say, a carpentry class or any other sort of trade style apprenticeship, which is effectively what he was trying to do with a hobby.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of because that's one of my things is people never people never seem to consider the price of someone else's time, whether
Mhm.
it's custom built models, commissions for people, or like I equated the price to that of like anyone who's ever thought about hiring a personal trainer and then come face to face with the cost of what a personal trainer charges and gone, oh man, that's that's a little bit, heavy for me because, it is. But
Like
yeah,
if you do the math, for example, if it's 1 hour a week for 7 weeks at $100, right? That's 15. That's like $14 to $15 an hour, depending on how you round. That's not like that's like what you can make at Target. If you went and got a job as like the basic employee at Target, you could make that. But again, it's the sticker shock. It's the, oh God, $100. And then they think about who is advertising it and why, especially with how much he sells his, completed builds for, which again, when they take, 40, 50, 60 hours to do, it becomes a lot more reasonable when you think about it, but people don't think past that.
Yeah, it's a value, like it's like a where people value their money is a subjective thing. And so I like we see more value in plastic robots and so we buy them opposed to somebody out there who does these things, these are a joke. They'll be like, no, it's a waste of money. It's like where you see the value of where your money's going, like beauty in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
And some people, would want to like they think that's okay because they want to it's something worth learning. And then like a lot of people, you said knee-jerk reaction. They saw who it was and how much it was, and they immediately painted it bad from who it was. And I think that was an embarrassing moment for the community to me. It was a very embarrassing moment because it kind of showed that a lot of it was very personal. Because a lot of people didn't make it past the door,
Yeah.
and look at that information. And so it kind of showed a lot of it was very personal. And also just like the thing to do, like it was like the thing to jump on. And like, this is social media. And so if it's trending, it's trending. And if it's trending in the community that, like it's popular to shit on something, then, that's where people were going to jump. And a lot of people exist in these echo chambers of these gunpla groups. And so they start going and things start sounding good because somebody else is saying it. And so it sounded good at the time for everyone to, jump on the hate. But yeah, to me, it was a kind of an embarrassing moment that for the Gunpla community, especially the U.S. Gunpla community, because I mean, the U.S. Gunpla community already is,
Controversial.
We're marginalized. We're pretty marginalized.
yeah, it's compared to the rest of the world, we feel like we carry this like, to me, this I guess this is what it feels like to me in the U.S. Gunpla community, that we feel like we are bigger than we are. Not just in like population and the community, but also skill wise and influence. And I think a lot of people have not been opened up to how big the community is and how some of these people think they are the pillars of the community but it's like they're the pillars in their echo chamber part of the community. And so I think in conjunction with a lot of that really kind of fed the whole situation.
Well, and what I thought was interesting was, again, everyone knee-jerked with it, but then you saw some of the bigger names that kind of went off about it. It wasn't the big names that we know in the community that one of which is stateside, two of which actually are stateside, remain stum on it. And I think it really kind of opened up like the ones who, like you even said, Luke, it really did embarrass the community. It shined kind of a gross light on people who got mad about something And I also feel like at the same time, we saw people then promote themselves because there's that one person who's like, oh, hey, look at me. I'm now going to sell something for free and kind
Free,
of give the middle finger. Yeah, free.
free.
And I'm going to give this person the middle finger. And
Yeah.
I feel like that was exceedingly petty. It's like, y'all need to just chill because,
There
yeah,
was definite an opportunistic marketing like
yeah,
in there. When all this happened, they used this situation to catapult something of theirs.
mm-hmm,
We saw a lot of people drop, like I'll do it for free, or like check out my YouTube, check out my reels, check out, this, I'll start doing this, and this, and like saying I'll do it for free. And we
yeah,
we know that nothing is free. That
exactly.
you're paying for it in some way.
In your
And
time or
yeah,
in
it
your
doesn't have to
yeah.
Well,
be money. There
and
are lots of ways to pay for things.
Mhm.
And
well,
so
and
you're paying in views, you're paying in clicks, you're paying in subscriptions, um you're paying in likes, you're paying in follows, you're paying in all these different things that they don't want you to see. They want you to focus on the money part, that like the money part is bad, but pay me in this other stuff.
Yeah.
And
mhm,
I'm gonna plug myself off of criticizing someone else for not breaking a rule. Or like there's no
right.
rules in this. There's no rules in this. If you don't like it, it's not against a rule. And I think, you know, it was just kind of like that was the embarrassing part, was the knee-jerk reaction, and then the plugging yourself on the back of somebody, of shitting on somebody else,
Yeah.
Yeah.
was also kind of um embarrassing to me at least.
Well,
So,
and I would even say, sorry, I was
no,
just
no,
gonna,
no, 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 go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Good.
I was gonna say, I just think it was really like plugging yourself in. A lot of the people that were doing that were being super petty.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them active for a hot minute, and now they're going, look at me, I'm here, I'm this person.
Mhm.
It's like, you've been inactive for how long? You're now going to shit on this dude. Sit, behave. This is an open market. We're allowed to choose if we want to pay this person or if we don't want to pay or buy from
Yeah.
this. That's what Skillshare's for. That's what Patreon's for. That's what all these other services are for. You can do that. I don't see you shitting on those or the people that teach on those. Where do you get off gatekeeping this guy?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was opportunistic, it was predatory, and ultimately I think a lot of it also preyed on like spreading misinformation. Because like even I didn't know until more recently about the potential for in-person stuff and one-on-one stuff. The little bit of it that I had seen before everything got deleted was people talking about it being like, you pay for several video recordings and that's the class, which is, as far as I know now, not at all the case. And if it was $100 for like one or two pre-recorded videos, I also would have been very upset.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not. And the other part of it I think is people online, just as a generalization, I know it's dangerous, but people online don't know that they can just say no, like you were saying. Like, if you're reading, like, I don't know, a fanfic that you don't like, you can just hit the back button. You don't have to read all the
Mm-hmm.
way through and hurt yourself mentally, emotionally, whatever. You can just leave. You can curate the content you want to see. And if you don't want to pay for this class, no one is making you pay for it. You can go onto YouTube and, look up a tutorial by somebody else. You can, yeah, like you said, like ask someone local and be like, hey, how do you do XYZ? There is nothing keeping you there to pay for this, debatably overpriced, underpriced, whatever thing. But people are so used to like algorithms and whatnot pushing content to them that they don't sit back and go, hey, wait a minute. I don't have to be in this.
Yeah.
I don't have to participate at all.
I mean, it's not even just about not participating. It's about they didn't necessarily have to even say anything. They
Mhm.
could have just, looked at it, thought about it, and moved on. But
That's
Yeah,
basically what I did.
scrolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep scrolling. Yeah, just because like that was my and Luke knows that you all know me. I like to troll. I like to have fun, and I was. I mean, okay, look, some of you know this. The audience obviously doesn't, but I came from the car community. I'm still a pre so active member in some of the sport compact scene teams that are in my area. Some are they're rebuilding stuff. Some are active. Either way, I go to the track. I do some pictures, videos, and stuff like that. That's kind of where I learned how to do videography, and also learned on YouTube. Because I chose to go on YouTube, and I also paid for some lessons too because I wanted to level up, but because there's some like price to entry with certain skill levels that I had to pay for. But either way, I love the Gunpla community because it's generally positive. It's a good group of folks. We all share our love of the anime or the models, whatever, right? So when this happened, I got so I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty visibly upset because I was like, this is not why. Like I left, not left, but I minimized my exposure in the car community because I'm just tired of this petty stuff of like I'm better than you because I have better parts or whatever because blah 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 or you're trash, I'm better, all this other crap, this elitism, this gatekeeping, etc. Whatever. I was like, I don't really give a shit. I'm gonna be over here and hang out with my homies building plastic robots because they're cool, and if we have any issues, we generally speak it out, and it's relatively chill, right? And this set up it just showed such an ugly face of the American hobby, of the American side of this hobby, that I'm like, I hate all of it. Like I started poking at every single one of them that was doing this advantageous crap, this, oh, look at me, I am better because I do this for free, or look at me, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, look at me, I'm shitting on them. Like, why? Dude, did you read anything? Did you get any context or something? Did you just reshare this because it's the thing to do now? Because it's the trending topic on Instagram or on Twitter or whatever? Like nobody that I saw that was just automatically just hit the freaking fire hose really took time to read. And I even spoken to a few of these people, and some of them regret the way they acted. And even were like, man, I'm really worried about the people that I know that, I think I disappointed some few folks. And I'm not gonna lie, it gave me a little. I'm like, okay, there is some hope because some of these folks are walking it back and they're understanding where they were. Others straight up deleted everything they said and acted like it never happened. Like, oh no, wow, that house is on fire. Who knew? What? I didn't do nothing, and it really that irks the shit out of me the most. And it's like, don't sit there and act like you didn't do anything because I saw you. Like I seen this. I have screenshots, dude. Like I got the receipts. Like, don't like it irks me because it's disappointing because I've seen what a toxic fan base can be. I see what a toxic scene is like. I mean, I just have to peek into the car community every once in a while. Like, yep, still shit. All right, cool. And then and then here it's just like, guys, what the fuck? Like, why?
Yeah, I thought you were better than this.
And like,
right.
Yeah. So like to me, it really, like I said, it was disappointing. And to actually answer the question, I honestly think sticker shock and definitely who it was, because personally, Luke, I don't know where you are in relation to me, but Luke is there, he offers lessons. And again, like and Magnus, Justin, you brought up an extremely good point, and seconded by Lotus. This is definitely a kinesthetic style that does hugely benefit from being one-on-one. I'm a kinesthetic learner. I don't learn by reading. I study by repetitive note taking. That's how I take in content, right? So my learning style may not benefit from these lessons, but others could. And the fact that it's there, that it's offered, and people's time is worth something. You know, you can't just expect, oh, I need it for free. Like, if somebody in this hobby told me, hey, I need you to edit a video of one of my builds, just do it, you know, yeah, just do it for me. And I'm like, dude, fuck off. Like editing alone takes time. I actually charge higher for editing than I do for actually filming, because editing takes me longer, and it's taken me longer to learn editing. So you're not just paying for my time; you're paying for the time that it's taken me to reach this level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
What's that one like say? Like it's like story saying about the engineer who goes and works on the ship, and he looks at the part, hits it with a hammer, and charges the guy like $10,000, and the guy's like, "That was not $10,000 worth of work." And he's like, "I'm charging you $1 for the labor and $9,999 for the years and experience behind
Mm-hmm.
where I knew where to hit it and how hard to hit it."
Yeah,
Yeah,
mhm. Whichever one. Go ahead.
I was gonna say like that. Like there's now, granted, most of my experience, because I'm relatively new to the gunpla scene as a whole compared to everybody else here. Most of my experience comes from like digital and traditional art and commissions via that. The amount of people I have had like come into my DMs over the years on Tumblr, or well, less so Twitter, but mostly Tumblr, or DeviantArt back when that was, you know, habitable. But like, and they'll just be like, "Hey, can you draw me XYZ?" And I would say, "Okay, you know, I want $20 for this sketch that you want." And they'd be like, "Why? I won't give you any money, or I'll give you $5 because that's what it's worth." And it's like, do you have any idea how long it's taken me to get to this point?
I'm not gonna lie. If I had someone ask me for only $20 for any of the commission pieces that I've had done, I would have been like, "Fuck yes, that's super cheap."
Here's the thing. I think the old age old saying, if I can English tonight too, time is money and money is time.
Mm-hmm. Like,
you're gonna pay. You're gonna the way you learn it. You're gonna pay somehow. You're gonna either pay money to learn it quickly and the tips and tricks on how to do it effectively without going through all the suffering of learning it by paying with your time, where you're gonna run into those mistakes and find out how to overcome them yourself, or through online and trying to apply them to whatever it is you're doing.
So like I was very big in the Star Wars costuming community for a long time, and like leadership in one of the big clubs and everything, and we get new people coming in and they're like, "Man, I want to do this and this, and this is my budget." And I'd be like, "All right, man, you need to curb your enthusiasm. There's this triangle, and you can only meet two sides at a time. It's cheap, fast, and good. So if you want it cheap and fast, it's not going to be good. If you want it good and cheap, you're not going to get it there fast. And if you want it fast and good, it's not going to be cheap."
Yep. Yeah, no matter what hobby you're doing, be it drawing, gunpla, model painting, anything, your time is worth something. Your time in learning what you've done, or whether or not you're doing commission work or just stuff for yourself. Like, you're like, if you're commissioning somebody, you're paying not only for their time doing the piece, but also like all the time that's led up to that point.
Yep.
And regardless of whether or not anyone personally thinks that those lessons were worth that amount of money, they are worth something, because anyone who's at a point where they can professionally teach deserves to have their time compensated to some degree.
Right.
Yeah. Right. I mean, like if I were going to be doing, as a teacher, if I were actually going to be teaching history classes outside of my contract hours, I would be charging money for it. Be like, if I'm going to take my time to do this, I want compensation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just like gosh, Nick, from Echo Warehouse. He does martial arts. He runs a dojo. He charges money for that. That's at his time. He runs a dojo. He's gonna charge money for it. He's not doing it out of the goodness of his heart.
Mm-hmm.
People gotta make money. We gotta make a side hustle. It's called a side hustle for a reason.
Yeah, and one thing that some folks and this is something that I kind of been keeping in my back pocket for specifically this topic. A lot of people in a lot of different communities. This isn't just for this one. This is a freaking full spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have never made the journey from, hey, let me pick this up. This will be my hobby. Oh, wow, I'm really good at this. Maybe I could do this on the side as a side hustle. And then it becomes a side hustle. And then some people even make the full jump to doing it full time. Case in point, I picked up my first, it was some shitty freaking digital camera. I started taking pictures of the track of my buddies racing. Then I bought a Sony. I remember it was a Sony Handycam. Then I upgraded. Then I bought a Canon DSLR before my second deployment. And then I got back. I bought a Sony A6500. That shit was beautiful. I really wish I shouldn't have sold it. And then now I have a Sony A7 III, which is my main workhorse. This thing is a full frame. This is a Haas. I don't think I'm gonna buy another camera for a while because this bad boy was pricey. So, but every step of the way, my skill level is growing. And dude, I shoot weddings every once in a while. Mind you, I hate shooting because the anxiety involved with that day, and then on top of that, editing. Like I tell my customers that when I do weddings, I'm like, I'll have your wedding video done. Give me at the most 90 days. The reason I say 90 days is because 30 of those 90 days, it's me dealing with a freaking internal panic attack, how I'm going to attack this video. Because it is somebody's day, right?
Yeah.
But it's the fact that dude, I started doing videography, like, I'd say the first time I did a video was 2008. Oh, yeah, when I got back from Iraq, it was 2008. And then I did it. I took a little break while I was in Afghanistan. And then I came back from my second deployment and hit it hard. Dude, I've been doing this since 07. It's 2022. And 2008. So it's 2022 now. And so I've done it for quite a while, right? So I'm at the point now where, I've made that journey. I haven't done it full time because I happen to be, as folks say, so blessed with a good job. So I don't have to, exercise that. But I do it as a side hustle. A lot of folks haven't made that journey, so they don't know what it takes. They don't know how to really understand that someone's time is worth something, And
Yeah.
like my rate, I think if I did the math, like I'll charge someone like 40, 45 bucks an hour for editing, and for videography I charge like 30, 35. Or 30. It just depends on, and also depends on where. Because if I got to go somewhere, obviously there's a travel fee. So like.
Mm-hmm.
There is that understanding that, hey, this is what I'm worth for the thing that you desire.
Yeah. The flip side of that being you can only make as much money as someone's willing to pay you.
Exactly.
Like I'm one of thousands, if not easily millions, of digital artists trying to make a living on Twitter, Tumblr, whatever.
Right.
And over the years, the most I've really been able to make consistently, not counting like specific people, has been about $10 an hour. I went to art school for almost 8 years.
Yeah.
And I'm stuck making $10 an hour from people who are sometimes willing to commission me for like a portrait. Because no one's willing to pay what my time would be worth if this were a proper job. And even in like professional contract work, that's the case with digital art. No one pays artists what they're worth. And I think a lot of that knee-jerk that we were talking about with these lessons comes from the fact that this hobby is art.
Yeah.
And people don't think about, like just thinking about his videos specifically. There was one of them, it was like an 80-hour build. I think it might have been a Sazabi and a hanger or something.
Yeah, I think he said that it was like an 800-hour build.
Yeah, 800 hour. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he fully did like a resin kit or some crap
Yeah.
like that.
So
I don't really remember.
Like hundreds of hours put into this thing. for like a 30-minute video that someone's going to watch off and on and go, that was neat, and move on. And YouTube ad revenue is awful.
Yeah, it's not what it's not what it used to be. Because like when I was in like heavy into doing the car videos, that was in the era where PewDiePie was king, and where like the one creator could be like at the top of the mountain. And obviously now the way it's restructured, YouTube has restructured itself because they never want to see another PewDiePie again. They don't want to see someone like that, that just like is king dingling of an entire platform. So like now, they suck. Like that's why I don't even mess with my YouTube channel on that side. The only reason I do YouTube videos for Gunpla stuff is because, hey, this is fun and it keeps my editing skills sharp.
Yeah. Like now granted, I think he has a Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the new ad revenue basically. But like if you're talking about a build that took hundreds of hours to complete for a half an hour of video content that you're watching for entertainment and giving like a pittance of ad revenue for, and then you get mad when he's like, hey, I want to do some lessons on the side to make a little more than said YouTube pittance, Patreon aside, that's some double standard if I've ever seen it.
I would even say that's even some gatekeeping, and just like Jan and I think Luke was talking about this. It's like there are no rules in this community, but now it's like people are knee-jerking saying, you can't do that. That's rule number one. How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you want to compensate for your time?
Yeah.
This stuff isn't new. Like private lessons aren't new.
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called having a tutor for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Justin, I didn't mean to overtalk you.
No, you're good. I was just saying, like, agreeing with Luke that, like, Choco Falcon, I know, has been offering, like, one-on-one Zoom lessons for a while.
Yeah.
It's the name. It's the fact that he has such a huge following. Like, regardless of personal feelings about him just as a person in general, he's got an enormous following. Probably one of the biggest ones, like, that I've ever seen on YouTube. And the more people that are there, the worse potential reaction you're going to get, even if you're doing something that isn't controversial.
So speaking for myself, a lot of my issues with him is that he doesn't always seem to fully plan out everything that he jumps into. Like the paint thing is what comes to mind. The first versions of the paint, because I mean, it was touted as supposed to be like the greatest thing ever for people who are trying to get into lacquers, and super easy to use and stuff like that. But then after it got released, there was such a variation of results. You would see some people, it was working exactly like it was supposed to, and other people, which was not a small amount of other people, were having some pretty major issues with the paint. And I never saw any official, like, hey, this didn't work very well, so we're going to try to fix this. It was like, it wasn't ever addressed. It was like, okay, I'm just going to release version 2 and whatnot. And it seemed like it was such a push out of, okay, I'm just gonna push this out and get what I can off of it, and then, oh, there are some issues, and yes, they were addressed. I hope I haven't actually since then, because of life. I actually do want to try out like the V2 of the paints to see how they work, because I haven't seen issues with V2, so I'm interested in picking up that line. But the fact that there was never any like, hey, we had issues, this is what we fixed, that I saw, that's kind of like, okay, like address the things that are small issues instead of just deleting and kind of moving past like you didn't notice. But that's really just a business thing. Like I don't think that there's a personal, like, as a person, I don't think that's an issue. I think it's I'm really excited. I want to jump into this, and
Yeah.
hasn't had any actual training in terms of, or any lessons learned in terms of how to conduct that kind of stuff. But because of those other things is why people were so primed and ready when they see his name attached to something, they see him asking for money for something that reasonably anyone should ask for fucking money for.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm angry. You know, and I wouldn't lie if I'd be lying if I said, like, when I see new business ventures from him, I don't automatically go like, eyebrow is now raised. What's going on here? But that's just because of the paint thing, you know?
Yeah. And sorry. Go on.
No, you go ahead.
It comes back down to, I remember reading, it was just someone's post on Tumblr a while back, but it could basically be summarized as, no one can do any wrong on the internet because your wrong lasts forever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he screwed up the first batch of paint. Sure. It happens. And all, like you said, all he would have had to have done was put out a little public thing saying, hey, this is what happened. Here's what we're going to do to try to fix it. That's just good business from any business that wants to appear like they're customer friendly, regardless of whether they are or not. You know, having a front that seems like they're engaged in what their customers want is key to making people like your business. It's the reason Nintendo has been so popular for years and years, is because they have a front of, we care about the customer. But if you're just silent, like just complete radio silence on that, deleting everything, that's going to make people wary.
Yeah.
And if those people who, you know, got the defective paints see that, and they, you know, are wary and whatever, and they see everyone else jumping on the bandwagon, yeah, they're going to be like, I have no personal experience with this thing, but this other unrelated thing I'm mad about, and I'm going to talk about it.
Well, and I was going to say, it might have been, I don't know, maybe they did eventually, maybe he did like refund money or send a different batch to people who got a bad batch of his V1 paint. But yeah, it's just that level of quality control that we expect in our society today with how we are. We expect a company to come out and say, or an individual say, yeah, there was a bad batch or there was something that fucked up. I'll defer to Turbo Dork. They they actually outright said, we are shutting our entire online storefront down because last winter there was that huge storm that hit Texas where they're based out of, and their paints all got screwed up. So they're like, we're shutting the whole site down. We're going to go through and reformulize our paints. They came out and said, we did it. Everything was successfully done except for this one color. We're discontinuing it. We're bringing a different color in later on to replace it as a spiritual successor. I think had he done that, like said, yeah, V1 was bad. There were some bad batches, bad quality control. That was due to such and such with the new chemicals and stuff. I think that would have probably made people feel a little bit more less wary.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was going to say, I saw like the names that were bashing him on Instagram, mainly attacking him for his paint, not the classes. They were using that as a way to attack him for the paint and the classes. And it's like, do you guys have you like,
do you even go here?
Yeah, dude, this is a Wendy's. I need you to calm down.
Exactly.
She doesn't even go here.
Right. This is a library. I'm gonna need you to like take your yelling down like 15 notches.
Yeah, it's like with just thinking about the paints and everything. One bad experience a bad company does not make.
Right.
Like just thinking about it, and like bad quality control, whatever, there's plenty of other like influencers, whatever, that have had similar things. Like the pink sauce. That was a huge fiasco. And people still talk about it, talking about, oh, botulism, it's not healthy, whatever. It's ranch. It's pink ranch. It's ranch with dragon fruit in it. That's all it is.
Well,
Jesus.
But it became this huge fiasco. And Reardon has a very good video debunking a lot of the stuff about that. And so then you go over to this hobby space with a thing that's, some bad paint, like probably like a year or two ago. I don't know when the first ones came out.
It was about a year and a half ago. I want to say, when I first started seeing it advertised anyway.
So like a flub up a year and a half ago versus now when we know they've been reformulated and they're still just going to get on a soapbox for something completely unrelated to the current thing, but it still riles people up. And mob culture, or whatever you want to call it, is so prevalent on the internet because it always rewards negative emotions versus positive ones. I guarantee there are probably a lot of people in those comments going, hey guys, this doesn't have anything to do with it, or hey guys, I'm really excited about these lessons, but you never heard any of it.
Yeah.
Not a single peep.
So, all right, let's go. Oh, by the way, just a little caveat. Great discussion so far. It's freaking awesome. I'll edit that part out. But let's see. So we actually touched base on a few different things here. So we talked about what set everything off. What were the main arguments? We actually even talked about if it's the money part of it or not. Cody even touched base on teaching and lessons. Man, Louis is just not funny.
I have
Louis
feelings.
has his own thoughts too.
I have feelings about these lessons, Father. Father.
Let's see.
It must include catnip.
All right, so
say something, please.
Basically, right? Yeah, don't yell at me, dude. Damn. All right, so we got all that. I mean, damn. I honestly think that got a good chunk of stuff because
like the last three questions.
I think that got like the main three.
Yeah.
We didn't really touch on like people talking about how they were really posting like about them talking about free YouTube stuff and
so
how
like
we did.
Yeah, we
did touch on that, but
it's just like it doesn't deserve any more attention than it got because it's such an asinine response.
Yeah.
I could do it for free just cause.
Yeah, that was so sickening because it pissed me off as a content creator because I'm like, I'm over here editing full-on videos and doing this stuff. I mean, honestly, like I said, because it's what I enjoy. It's just like, do it.
Yeah.
I don't really care about what. I mean, if the views are good, hey, that's awesome. But that's not my main focus. But like seeing people like literally jump on that whole bandwagon, I'm gonna hate on this guy just because it's a thing to do. And oh yeah, by the way, here's my channel, check it out. But man, fuck off with that. Like that is so such poor taste. Oh my god. As my boy, my favorite version of Hook, Dustin Hoffman would say, bad form. Bad form. So we touched on that. We have three other questions that I don't think we've really touched on, but I don't really know if they really would work.
Yeah, just like a closing maybe.
Like one says, what would you pay someone to learn to do? So basically, where do you place value? Like how much value you place on it? What would you never pay someone to learn? And what would you love to spend an hour or two learning from?
Who would you love to
like
Oh wait, who? My bad. See, I can't even read.
I want to learn from an AI.
I can't read.
How to do that.
Hey, I mean, that's a completely different topic right now. Like,
do
AI
not
art
get
is
me started on
fucking
AI
destroying it.
art.
That's something completely different.
I could rant for so
That'll
many
open
hours
Pandora's
about AI
fucking
art.
box.
Oh my god.
Honestly, the person I would want to learn from, it's a toss-up. I mean, I'm gonna simp a little. I would say either Zaku Aurelius or Otaku Builder. Because I honestly would want one of those two. Probably Otaku Builder first. Sorry if Zach is watching this. Sorry.
Hey, the pre-shading that Otaku Builder does is fucking insane. So
Dude,
I
yeah.
gotta go with you on that.
I mean, I'm still riding high on the fact that Otaku Builder even shared one of my builds. I was just like, holy fuck,
Right.
I'm done. That's
I
it.
was
I
so happy
peaked.
for you on that,
I
dude.
peaked. That's it. I can do nothing better. We're
Life goal
done.
accomplished. Oh,
And
Hey,
like would I pay someone for a lesson in this stuff? It really depends on what it is. I will say that I know that some people have feelings about different folks, but I'll say that the some of the one-on-one time I've had on Instagram chat with Iowa New Type has been pretty invaluable. Um, I was in some crunch time when I was finishing up my unicorn. Luke knows about this. I don't think Justin knew about this because you were on ship, so there was something I didn't really share too much about.
Yeah.
But I was having some like small panicking moments about the clear coat. I was freaking out. I didn't because I mixed my own and it didn't come out great. The spoon just didn't look good. I didn't want to use spray can because I didn't want it to glob all over everything. I wanted a nice film, and so like in a pinch, I spoke to another person in the hobby, Bobby New Type. Luke and I, well, he's a friend of ours, great dude, and he's like, "Have you used Hobby Meal before?" And I'm like, "Yes, I've used the Mirror Silver, beautiful paint. I love it to death." He's like, "Try their clears." So because I knew the only Hobby Meal dealer I knew off the top of my head was him. So I was like, "Hey, do you have all three, the gloss, semi-gloss, and flat in stock? I'm kind of interested in that stuff." And he hooked it up, and we spoke at length about how to apply it, the PSI that the airbrush that paint likes with the airbrush, which depending on like the color, like what kind of finish, on like post decal, pre decal, applicate, all that stuff. Like, I mean, we went pretty in depth and kind of basically he walked me through that last bit that I needed to finish the uniform. And even though the kit didn't win, it didn't win anything really. I feel that in my eyes, thanks to that, I was able to bring it home and just because I didn't, and everybody in this group knows that I was like there towards the end, I was freaking out because I'm like, man, this needs to be that bow on the top that I didn't even have the freaking ribbon at the time. I didn't even know how to what to do. And he helped me out. And
yeah,
so that I would definitely, when it comes to painting, when it comes to like that part of the hobby. Sorry, Luke, describing. It's just I'm not ready for that yet, but I have the tools. I have the tools
Hey.
whenever the time comes. But
No offense taken. I would love to sit down with Hayden and talk about paint because that dude is a master at what he does.
but like yeah, the painting stuff really like the ability to put color and combine color and pick contrast and all that just was and even the layering using the right base coat, I mean the right primer to really accentuate certain colors, like just all that was just like it blew my mind. And that really I would pay for that. One thing I would never pay for really is and this is it's kind of hard for me to say this without sounding like a dick, but like the basic stuff, like. But this is all because of where I'm at right now as a builder. Obviously, if I was a brand new builder, it'd be a different story. But like, I honestly think like seam line removal, I can figure that out on my own at this point. Nub removal, I have the tools to really get down and do that the proper way. Just kind of the basic cleanup to make the kit the best version it can be out of box. I'm at that point. I'm at the point right now in my build career, I guess you want to call it, that I don't. That's something I don't need help with. I can figure that on my own. Yeah, I think that kind of covers those three questions for me.
I mean, personally, sorry, Lotus.
Yeah.
You can go ahead.
I was gonna say, if I had to, I would probably pay to learn like proper use of plot plate and scribing. Because I'm not at a point where I quite have had that skill set really in terms of like making it polished and clean and, a good sense of craft. Um, as far as never paying someone to learn something, honestly, probably just general painting. But again, like you said, Jan, that often comes from where you are in the hobby. I've spent almost 10 years painting Warhammer. I know how to brush paint Gunpla and whatever without having brushstrokes showing. But that's going to be incredibly subjective to where anyone is in their hobby.
Show me your ways, Lotus Senpai.
Yeah, and like
Maybe
hand
later.
painting, hand painting. That's something that I like. Do like, for instance, Xeon does that stuff a lot,
Mhm.
and hand painting is something that I have extreme like self conscious about. I'm not
Your
touching.
paints. Thin them. I'll come
You
through the
gotta
monitor
thin
and
'em out
bite your
properly.
ankles.
She'll do it.
Anyway, but the last thing, if I had to pick someone, Studson Studios,
I'm gonna have
the
to
one
look
who
that
made
up.
the one who made the Toy Story Zaku, or not Zaku,
Oh, the
Zagok.
Zegok.
Yeah, with the claw. I have been chosen.
Right.
His kit bashing out of literal trash is crazy creative. I would
Are you
love to learn how he does that and just is able to analyze the shapes and go, yeah, that could be, like the barrel of a rocket.
Yep.
Or the trunk of a what are the ones from Horizon Zero Dawn, like the Thunder Tusks or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, like how? How does he do it?
He's a witch.
Maybe burn him.
No. No.
So for me, this is just a personal stance. If you're willing to pay to learn anything in the hobby, then there shouldn't be anything that you wouldn't be willing to pay for.
That's fair.
Just throwing it out there.
That's fair.
Somebody that I'd really want to learn from, and I'm probably going to be getting with him, sometime after my move is actually Luke over here. His ability to scribe is absolutely amazing. I've got everything I need, but I'd very, very much like to learn from somebody that's got his technical ability for scribing.
Hey Luke, I'm gonna need you to like move back a little bit from the camera. Your head's getting a little big.
I haven't said shit.
He's just sitting over there singing.
You just saw the big smile go across your face.
I'm over here like yes, perfect time to troll. But like honestly though, like dude, like I've spent time talking with Justin here and there, like because he knows. So like we kind of came to the point where like because it was in between him and Gam, like bro, you need to start weathering your builds, and I'm like, but I don't like that. I like clean builds. And it like took a long conversation with Justin. He's like, well, that's what you like, man. Do what you do. Like, but Seth, dude, if you learn how to scribe, I think we're all fucked because you're I mean, I'm holding two of your works right back here. And seeing these in person, I'm just like, fuck, dude, if this guy levels up, man. Shit.
Well, there's old boy on Mecha Warehouse that just I don't know how many rare candies he was fed, but that dude has leveled up with that Strike Freedom that he's been building.
Oh, Oren?
Orin.
Yeah, dude, yeah. He's
Going crazy.
just shoot. First he like paints his Sosby and then he LEDs up and paints his Barbie, and now it's like Strike Freedom. Like, dude,
my bro.
someone
I'm
maxed out
it's like,
his
bro, I'm gonna
stats.
need you to
Some
calm
things
down.
just click.
I'm gonna need you.
Sometimes you just get it.
And just throwing it out there because I kind of didn't, and by kind of didn't, I mean during the whole last segment, I actually did not say a single word. And that was purposeful. That was purposeful. And it's because my opinion on the whole subject about pay to learn recently changed. When everything first came out, so I was late to the party on everything that was going on with this builder and the pay to learn classes. So all the information I got was secondhand by some people that are out here waving beam sabers and, just angry in the community. And I got a full dose of the toxic community without even really realizing it. I went back, I've talked to some people, I've got more concrete facts on the subject, and I've spoken with y'all. I was in, the Instagram text chat with y'all, and I've said some things that I don't stand behind anymore. I've said some things that, I wasn't hateful. I don't think I was hateful or venomous in any way, shape, or form, but I'm a human being. I'm not infallible, and I can admit when I'm wrong. I refuse to let my ego get in the way. And on this topic, I was wrong. I see no problem in paying to learn something, especially if it's from somebody reputable, somebody that's got the talent to back up what they're teaching. And it's because sources like Skillshare exist. It's not just in this community. People need to learn how to do video editing, photography, all sorts of stuff, digital coding, and people have to teach this stuff. And some people just struggle even with getting their model kits to where they want to be, that having somebody even in a one-on-one or like pre-recorded things might make a world of difference to them, something that just YouTube can't teach them. But the biggest thing is, and the draw for me now is the ability to ask questions with a one-on-one chat with somebody, even if you are paying for it. Having that free time to, well, I don't understand this. What do you see that I'm doing wrong? Could make a world of difference in somebody's model kit building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad you said something like that, Seth, because like whenever we hear this whole talk about community and about like, oh, you should do it for free because it benefits the community and that's what helps the community grow. Well, the point also of a community is to have all different kinds of resources because everybody, we've talked about, everybody learns in a different way. And so having resources for how everybody learns is super helpful. You don't have to learn that way. And so even for a good community, we do need to have paid classes. We do need to we need to have paid classes. We need to have paid one-on-one classes. We need to have free resources. Some can be behind a paywall, and that's okay. We need all of that stuff for a community because it's like I told somebody, I was like, we need to have this stuff, and what could happen is we could just not do it.
Exactly.
We could just not do it. And I mean, I would still sleep just fine at night not doing it or not offering it. But yeah, we need those things as a community as well. You need all kinds of resources.
Well, and I mean, it even goes into like kind of like going into what you said earlier with that. The American community is that likes to get a little too big for its britches, and it's like, this is an international community.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in the US needs to just calm down, take a deep breath, and accept the fact that this hobby originated in Japan, for Christ's sakes. We need to calm down.
Yeah, because I mean, we've talked about this before, and this is a little bit off a tangent, but I mean, I know builders out there who experience racism against Asian ethnicities, and I'm over here like, how the hell are you in this hobby if you have racist tendencies? I'm like, bro, do you understand where these things come from? You know who drew these things?
Exactly.
But yeah, but that's for a different episode.
Right. Well, and what I was gonna say is with that, I mean, going like other skills like French cuisine for a long time, no one could cook that unless you went to France and learned how to cook it. You know who brought it over here? Julia fucking Child with her book, and people bought the fucking book and learned how to cook French.
And watched her show and everything.
Exactly. I mean, if she hadn't done that, we'd be looking at like, what the hell's that them there sous vide?
Oh God.
That's called freedom steak.
Right.
I hate how accurate that was to where I live.
but no, yeah, like I think honestly, and look, I'm gonna gush a little bit right here. I really do appreciate everybody's ability to have kind of And this is a good thing why I waited a little bit for this, because I really wanted to fire this off the week that it happened. But I think honestly, letting it cool off, even though it's not for the algorithm, letting it cool off for a little bit and like letting the dust settle and everything happen, kind of gave everybody, hindsight's 2020, right? So this is a great way of, hey, look, this is how it happened. This is what happened. These are all the points where shit went wrong. And this is where, as a community, I feel that we failed. I honestly see this as a black eye for the community, because it was like seeing such toxic behavior come out of some fucking model builders. I'm like, dude, you guys need to calm down.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what do you think the IPMS folks, or like the traditional model builders, think of Gunpla builders at this point? Not that they really give a shit, because they don't care, or at least I don't think they do, because they're a lot older. But like seeing that, right? Seeing how people reacted to this stuff, and it's like, guys, like, this is a hobby. You have a choice of putting in or not putting in as much or as little as you want. Just keep scrolling, dude. If you don't like it, keep scrolling, man. There's shit.
We're all sitting here being nerds, playing with little plastic robots, having a good time, making them hold hands and calling Marasai Izaku with a hat to make people mad.
You're lucky he's not here.
None of this is. There's no moral superiority because I use nippers to remove my sprue instead of an X-Acto knife.
I'll give you a good example. Today at the Bill Jam, the owner of the store, Anime Agro, great place, great local place, by the way. If you're ever in St. Louis, Anime Agro, go for it. He sells God Hands, he sells Mr. Hobby, which is the ones that I use, and then he also sells like the regular entry ones, right? And it's funny because they all, they're all different price points, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the guys that was there had just bought a pair of God Hands, and he comes out with this other brand to try out. It's like in the middle of Mr. Hobby and God Hand prices. He has like 4 or 5 different nippers, and they're all like $10 of price difference between them. And it was just like trying it out, and it's like, there are people here that, at least it's like, I have God Hands. I'm like, bro, I've seen pictures of God Hands falling like an inch and breaking. I am not dropping $70 on shit.
I've got some like multiple-year-old army painter like $10 sprue cutters and an X-Acto knife that I change the blade out from regularly, and it does the job just fine.
Yeah, it's like at the end of the day, to kind of put a little cap on it, everybody kind of has their thing, right? You teach their own. If it works for you, great. If you want to learn, reach out. If you don't feel like paying for something because you don't, hey, that's your choice. Cool. But you have to, come to terms with the results you're getting at where you're at. In closing to this whole thing, our wallets hurt. Which of Mercury is awesome. Community needs to grow up a little bit. We haven't quite hit puberty yet, or we're probably in the pubescent stage right now, or we're just hyper emotional and just can't deal with shit. We're kind of like that pissed off 13-year-old that she's like, you don't get it, mom. It's not a phase.
It's not a phase.
I'm glad we're on the same page here.
Hot topic.
And
you don't know me, mom.
And honestly, and like Luke and Justin, actually, both of them have been slowly like feeding me content, Far East content. Like, look at these model builders out there, what they're doing. And it's like, I think people need to like look up from immediately in front of the car to ahead of the road. Look far out there. And, again, this has been I honestly think this will be a longer podcast. I don't really care. But this is honestly one of the better subjects and discussions we've had, because it's very, in light of a hot and spicy topic, it's been a very conducive discussion. And I think, and this ability to welcome this, because look, I know Justin feels one way or one type of way of it. I know Luke feels one type of way, but the fact is that it's like, hey, we can recognize that these are the things. And at the end
I'm not going to go blast you on the story, Magnus. Don't worry. And then in turn, I won't promote Geo Workshop doing it.
I mean, to kind of go with what you said about that, I mean, I hope that this is a reflecting point for a lot of the builders that did jump on this bandwagon. I hope they grow up, and I hope that this is a one-off situation of the community, because Zaku Aurelius brought this up a year ago. I mean, we can't continue to get toxic, because then what are we as a community other than toxic, spiteful children?
Yeah, and we'll revisit, because like we're gonna revisit that topic definitely, because I actually want to. There's like two other builders I want to invite for that, and I actually have been talking to them in chat. So I mean in Instagram. So the next episode, we're gonna cover. Actually, you know what? That's a great plug for what we're gonna do next one. So for episode 5 of Thunderbolt Radio, we're gonna cover goals for 2023. What everybody's gonna cover for what everybody's planning on doing. I want to say, hold on, I have to re-edit this crap. Who cares?
It's always how it be.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great because I can't freaking find it.
I think though, like there was a good silver lining though to like this whole thing on the like with how Seth said like he kind of had like a realization moment was like there were all like an epiphany. There was a few other people that I talked to that kind of had that too, that were like after they talked about it and stepped back, they kind of realized that their frustration was on the person and not the thing. And I think that there was definitely some self-redemption there on a lot of stuff that people that had the immediate knee-jerk reactions, and also some who realized that people they knew were doing private lessons as well, that were like they're like, yeah, I never did have a problem with this in the first place, thinking about it. And so yeah, I think in the end there was some redemption for some people who kind of who talked about it and stepped back and kind of and looked at it not after everything kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that honestly I think is like the growing point for folks. I really honestly think that it'll be a lesson learned going forward. I hope, and like I said, if we can, all of us have a different opinion about all the things that transpired, and we all kind of have come to this like very decent consensus of like, hey, this is kind of what happened. This is what needs to happen going forward. Hopefully, again, just a bunch of fuckboys talking online about plastic and the dumbasses that get all meh about all the rules and whatnot.
They turn into Skeletor.
What was that?
And I thought
Nah, I'll get you again, He-Man. Nah. So
I thought I raged, but
dude,
I'll get you again, Namoro.
I learned rage from my good friend Majin Kawaguchi. Always rage on. And so episode 5 of Thunderbolt Radio is going to be what is the best entry grade, high grade, real grade, master grade, and honorable mention kit you built. Best bang for buck kit. Grade does not matter. So if you feel that the MGX unicorn is the best bang for buck, which I honestly don't think it is, or if you think that the perfect grade unicorn is the best bang for buck, I personally have different opinion, but whatever. We'll leave that for that episode. And
bloodbath for them.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. And then and then any goals for 2023? Those are going to be the topics for episode 5. We'll probably have another stacked panel for that one, because those are really good topics, and I think from a hobbyist standpoint, and also for people that are brand new into the hobby, they'll like to hear that. But yeah, it's been a pretty long episode. I really appreciate everybody's time. That was great. Any socials and everything is going to be plugged in the description below the podcast on where it's at. So Spotify, Google, Apple, as well as on YouTube. This will also be available. The video version of this will be available on YouTube. And guys, I really appreciate y'all joining in. And Auf Wiedersehen.
Frosty.
In conclusion, buy more Hygogs and always spay and neuter your pets.
Just throwing it out there for some people that are listening on the Spotify side that don't know it. If you do want to see the video version, this goes up at the Gunpla Stop on YouTube.
Oh, thank you. Bless you. Bless you, sir.